Namaste to all the delegates and all beautiful participants who are here today. I would firstly want to thank Seva International for organizing this wonderful event where so many delegates from different parts of the country has come to share their knowledge. I'm sure all the session is going to be mind invigorating. To start my session or say experience, I'm a medical doctor by education and training, and I've worked in various fields in sense from emergency to surgery to worked for people living with HIV, AIDS to mental health problems, psychiatric work. So I have experienced different kind of departments after I finished my MBBS. The only thought that used to come was some diseases we could address, but there was so much of suffering. When the patient comes to a doctor, he's already in a state where he's suffering. That's why the patient is seeking help. And some diseases doctor could address, but there are so many diseases that would require lifelong medication or would become challenging even for the health professionals. So I always used to think, what can we do to, where people shouldn't be suffering, or we can bring that salvation to suffering, you can say, or bring about that sense of well-being to people. So when I was pursuing my MD in physiology, so I came across the science of yoga. And as we study, the first thing in physiology is maintaining homeostasis, like how your body is so intelligent and it's always trying to maintain a balance internally despite of whatever is happening externally. So your body is designed so beautifully, but at the end, today's problem has come when there is imbalances in so many things, internally and externally. The yoga, the science of yoga, the science of other traditional medicine, so Rigpa Sir said, is only mentioning about how we find this balance and harmony in the body. So I got intrigued and I started exploring yoga. I started bringing it into my own life, and today I'm mostly working in the field of yoga because from the place I come from, that's Sikkim, beautiful, scenic, a very beautiful state in every manner, but when we look at the disease burden, it has one of the highest disease burden of lifestyle diseases, like which are preventive, which are non-communicable diseases, but has put on so much of stress in the health system. Then we have a highest burden of mental health diseases along with substance abuse and having the highest suicide rate in the country for now. It either trails or it is in the highest in terms of suicide. So a state, and if I have to say, in many of the Northeast states also, the disease burden as well as the substance use and mental health problems are equally high. And when we think like Northeast with so much of young population, so much of potential, talented, and at the end, when there is so much of disease burden just because there is some balance which is not being struck. And that's how, because I belong to Sikkim, so I started exploring in this field. And though I was born in this great Bharat Bhumi, this land, who is actually the life, the discipline, entirely yogic sciences. The life was led in such a beautiful way there that people shouldn't be suffering. And that knowledge, we couldn't really immerse into that knowledge. And like Sir yesterday rightly said, that when it's coming from the Western world, then only we try to take it. Be it yoga, be it fasting, when they say intermittent fasting, when we take it, but when we say every moon cycle, that Indian system already had a fasting system, and how it scientifically helps the body, when it's coming from Western system, our now generation becomes more receptive to it. So, we have all of these things, but we couldn't really explore the potential, and we couldn't really bring it into the lives of people. And that's why I started working, and during the time of COVID, people were more receptive, we can say. also before that with our honorable Prime Minister really putting forth that awareness for yoga, at least that awareness since people came to know that there is something called as yoga when the world is celebrating Yoga Day. But still in the corners of Sikkim, the people of Sikkim, still awareness to the extreme of corners is still lacking. If they have awareness also, that power, that skill, that empowerment and knowledge of yoga and yogic sciences and this preventive discipline is still lacking. So COVID time, people were receptive. Simple things like, just to quote an example, the sign during the time of COVID, like to the patients I addressed to, I visited to, had a very high heart rate. And when you put a pulse oximetry and show it to the patient that his heart rate is say 138, 140, and you tell the patient, just calm down, take deep breaths, and then just put some mantra or whatever whichever faith they believe in, and you put that patient in just a calming breathing pattern for some time, and then you see the change, and they see that the heart rate has gone down below 100, and they feel at ease. So, when you quantitatively show person that how a simple technique as breathing could bring so much of relief in a person's life, then they become receptive. So that's how now I really am thankful to our dearest Lata ma'am, that with Indian Yogini Association, now with Sikkim chapter, we are trying to bring yoga in a more holistic way. You can say we are trying to integrate it. So we started our Sikkim chapter recently, and we started it from a village called as Yangyang, which is also, they say, is known as Kala Pani because nothing came there, the development. So they are left behind. So that's what they said when we went there. So there we have started, as ma'am already pointed out, that the local authorities and bodies were really supportive, where Deputy Speaker ma'am wanted to, if there's any initiative which would really bring about a better health to people, happiness to people, then we can work together. So we put forth our declaration, putting forth our under ma'am's guidance and expert advice that, what all we can do to integrate in people's life or make it, bring it into the way how people lead their life. So if you could, there are a lot of things that I already missed or didn't say, I had already put on my slide, was psychoneuroimmunology, epigenetics. Basically, it's only to address that all the diseases actually starts in your mind, and how it affects your immunity, immune function and endocrine function. So, and the epigenetic factors, like how your environmental factors could really bring about trajectories and changes in the neuronal system of your body and so many other systems of your body. So how these things are really important. So that is just to put that, and why all disease burden and whatever is there, how it can be changed with the lifestyle, with the discipline that we bring in life. So quickly, some of the calls for action that we, through the Indian Yogini Association, we put forth in Sikkim. That could be a very small model, but we thought it's a small state with a very small population, and we start from somewhere that maybe we'll be able to come out with a substantial outcome or which we can document. We are basically trying to empower the women, because we think the lens at which women, they look out to the world is different, and they naturally embody empathy and compassion. So if the skills of yoga are given, the skills and knowledge of yoga and yogic sciences are given to the women who works in the community, say community health caregivers like Asha, Anganwadi, SHGs, which ma'am is leading the national group. So we came together, we met them, and we seek out the interest if they really wanted to learn it. So the interest of people is there. It's just that the knowledge has not yet reached to them, or reached in a very partial or fragmented manner. And to give it out or empower them, we need to put it together and give it in a holistic way to them, the training. So we have promised to provide all the online courses. We have made a team in Sikkim who already has acquired that knowledge and would help the community develop, the women in the community develop these skills and the skills in the yogic sciences. Then we have also told, we have also promised that whosoever people who has been into substance or had gone to the rehabilitation center, there are some leaders, some people who have come out as leaders, that they really want to learn this skill and impart to the people who has undergone the same phenomena as they had, and they really understand and can relate. So to empower people who are in the community and who are closely working with the people, and especially women, then maybe, like how hundreds of trillions of cells in the body, they work together, but when you see each cell is so intelligent and empowered that, it is empowered. That's why it works as a whole unit. Like that, every individual has to be empowered if we want healthy and happy state, if we want healthy and happy India. Each and every individual has to be focused and empowered and give that responsibility of their health in their own hands by empowering them with disciplines which are preventive and, in a long run, which would make the community resilient towards everything which is coming, which are going to be faced in the upcoming days with the advent of newer technology, AI, with so much of screen time, with the children growing up with all of these things, so many challenges there. But if we have this holistic system and discipline, not only in the schools, but in the communities, in the homes, then we can bring up children, we can bring up adults who are highly resilient, who would face so many challenges, but still revert back and become productive and innovative. So that's why these are massive awareness drives that we have already started. And we also request, because we have people from the policy making line, so we would really request a yoga institute or institute which really yes, we could have in Sikkim or Northeast region, so that we can have an evidence-based learning, research-based learning. We can have human resource development and also documentation and preservation of that discipline which is in that area. Also, if we could just turn the slide, there's one thing which ma'am has already mentioned but would lastly want to focus is Yogini homestays. That's a new concept. That's a very new concept of homestays that has been introduced by Indian Yogini Association, which is called as Yogini Stay Homes. And here, why we are trying, as I already said, we wanted to empower the women. And in the communities, in the place where it's scenically so beautiful and so apt for yoga and yogic sciences, where women are skilled in yoga, yogic sciences, are trained, and they run homestays for the people around and people coming from across the world. So they would teach them how to lead a yogic kind of a life. So they could really in real experience a yogic lifestyle, which would not only make that community, that family, that state healthy, but in turn could really set an example for the rest of the world. So that is something that we are trying to bring in under the guidance of Madam. So lastly, there's so many things to say, but there's a few key highlights. I would really want other people who are expert in this discipline to also put forth their ideas and could really handhold us in working through this path. And I think if we put in our effort, our collaboration, our collaborative effort, then we could really empower the Northeast of India with huge potential. In turn, would be very productive and innovative, leading our country to the great heights of progress and prosperity. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.